All right, good evening, everybody out there in Chester County, Coatesville, and my Facebook page. Doggone it, I am just truly excited this evening. But I'm gonna let my theme song play a little bit, because every host needs a theme song. Right now, gracing us on this Tuesday night. Oh man, try to mess my flow up just then. You see that? All right. We're going to shut my theme song down. Good evening, everybody out there in Chester County, Coatesville, and on my Facebook page. I'm going to tell you, I am really, really excited to have these three guests on here. But before I get into that, I got to pay the bills. And tonight's show is being brought to you by Simply Burners. She is Simply Verna. Verna is an event planner. She does decorations and catering. But the biggest thing, and it's funny how this materialized, and I'm not going to get into it because I know their time is precious. It all started and centered around pies. And I put out a call for people who has an expertise in making pies. And this young lady, she came up, she said, Fonz, I'm going to make you an apple pie and a sweet potato pie. And when she came here, I've never tasted a pie like that in my life. I don't even eat apple pie. But her apple pie was great, fantastic, and she decided to sponsor tonight's show. So Vernell Richards, 2 thumbs up. I appreciate you. And yeah, I recommend her pies because I'm eating it. I'm eating it. So now her contact number is 484-560-5772. I'm gonna say it one more time just in case you didn't hear me. Matter of fact, she got 2 numbers. She must be rich. 484-560-5772 and 484-983-5483. Doggone it. Give her a call. Tell her Fawn sent you. Now, look, before I introduce my guest, people have been calling. Stop sweating there, James. It's going to be okay. What had happened was I got a call from Valley Township, one of my favorite people, Miss Patrice Proctor. And she right now she's feeling like she's adopted because I do live in Valley, but I'm always screaming Coatesville, right? So she said, Fonz, could you just make this announcement? And I will. Valley Township is having their summer concert series featuring Philly Blue Magic. And that the date is Saturday, September 11th, and the time is noon. The location is the Westwood Fire Company on Valley Road. Donations will be accepted at the concert, and the donations will go to the Atkinson Center in Coatesville. Come on now, if you ain't doing nothing new, when in doubt, check them out, donate something, and stop plugging. Wait a minute, I got one more announcement. This lady is crazy. The CYWA received today 18 lasagnas from the lasagna lady. The lasagna lady's name is Kay Jordan Martin, and she's been on my show, and she's an amazing lady, and she belongs to a group called Lasagna Ladies, and they're known all around the world and the country and all that kind of stuff. So that's all for my announcements. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Can I have a drum roll? Oh, going, I'm excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see who. First, I want
like being on a roller coaster ride.
Hey man, it is a roller coaster ride. I'm better than a movie. Look, first of all, I want the guests to introduce themselves and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. James, let's start with you since you're covering my whole screen.
I was gonna turn over to the ladies first.
No, it ain't about you right now. I'm the host of the show. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, my name is James Logan. I am the city manager for the great city of Coatesville.
Okay. Kimberly, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what is it that you do, where you work at. Come on, talk to me.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Fonz, for having me a part of the conversation tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm Kimberly Day Hardy. I am strategy officer with the Brandywine Foundation, and happy to be here to talk tonight.
And she's good at strategizing because she is like the lead person with the Coatesville Black Media Renaissance that you see on her shirt right there. She also went to Philly to do Philly Pitch along with Ebony Roberts, who just did a private screening of her movie, her short film. We'll talk more about that. Man, I'm telling you, CBMR is something else. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, one of my favorite people, a person I thought we'd never get along with in the beginning because I was begging, and she was like, man, ain't nobody got no time to do stuff like that. is none other. No, she didn't really say that. It's Miss Vanessa Briggs. Miss Vanessa, come on, talk to the people out there and tell them a little bit about yourself. And don't be humble either, all right?
You know what, Fonz? Why are you putting all my business out in the street like that? But thank you for having me again on your talk, Vanessa Briggs. And I am President and CEO of the Brandywine Health Foundation. Happy to be part of this conversation. And I am all about Coatesville right now.
Man, look, now before I go any further, I'm so enamored by the guests that I have on tonight. I usually be on my page looking at see if anybody is giving any shout outs. Look, we got comments. No, that's another show. What the heck happened to this show? All right, look. So with that being said, look, these individuals are more the behind the scenes people that you really, really ever see, right? And I thought it was just a great time because of what we're doing in regards to the Coatesville Black Media Renaissance and because of the flood. I thought that this would be a great time to have them on. And I'm just so excited to ask them some questions and stuff like that. So let me see, who do I have? We got Claudia Palmer, Marcy Griffin, Barbara Marshall. Sister Barbara Marshall, she's always checking in on me. It's good to see y'all. I want y'all to hang in there because we got some information and all kind of stuff. So I'm just going to get right in and get started. I might as well start with you, Ms. Vanessa, since you all up on the screen, all big and everything. Look, all right, so let's talk about the foundation's role in the catastrophe that we had, or how y'all provided support for the victims community and stuff like that. Let's talk about that.
So we were really just trying to figure out what was the urgent need that the Brandywine Health Foundation could do on the ground, because we recognized when that storm came through last Wednesday, Thursday, that it just completely devastated the city of Coatesville. And I didn't want to not do anything, nor did I want to do things that I thought other people would be doing. So I just put my dietitian hat on and I said, people need food. And so I rallied the troops early in the morning. I sent them a Facebook and we talked on Facebook and quickly said, you know what? People need food. They don't have time to prepare it. So why not try to find one of our partners to provide some healthy meals in different locations throughout the city. So we were able to partner with Lisa Morris, and she did a phenomenal job of making 750 meals, already healthy prepared meals, and distributed across the city to 6 different sites. It was not even a hesitation on her part to just jump right in. So we were just happy and blessed to be able to provide the resources for her to immediately feed individuals. And then James, who you also have on this call, I said, James, are you feeding your staff? I mean, people are working hard overtime. And so we decided to purchase lunch for all of, the folks who worked at the city. And so we just kind of took a basic approach. People need food and people need water. And that's what we did initially to sort of just try to figure out the best way to help the residents in the city of Coatesville. So that was our immediate response. And I can tell you a little bit more since then, what we've been doing and what we're planning to do.
Okay, and we'll come back to that. Hey, look, and as a matter of fact, they turned on a dime and supplied 750 meals. 750. Lisa is a beast. Lisa is one of my better friends, and she's definitely my wife's best friend, and her and her husband. And she's special. Ain't nobody like her. That's all good. That's all good. We're going to come back to you. Hey, James, come on, James. So you think this is your show, don't you, James? James, let's talk about the flood a little bit. Tell us about the experience, about what you went through when it started happening, and some of the things that you had to put in place and stuff like that. Just talk to the viewers. James, can you hear me?
You're on mute.
James, get over mute, James.
I can hear you. Thank you.
All right.
Well, again, as everyone knows, Wednesday night was as devastating as the June 8th flood that we had. And it was just even more devastating when we started to walk, especially in the areas of 5th and 6th and Olive, which is, we kind of call it the impact zone that was coined by Vanessa. And it truly is an impact zone. The number of families that lost their homes, the number of people that were just out there, trying to lend their support. to help these individuals and families. It's heartbreaking. And one of the unfortunate things is that, this is all Mother Nature, and there was nothing that we can do about it. But we do know that we have problems here in the city. We have problems with our stormwater management. We have problems with our, just drainage system. The streets are old, and we just have to do something better. And that's why we hope there were a number of state, local representatives out visiting last week to assess what was going on. And we hope by them being there and experiencing what, some of the individuals that lost their personal belongings, their family heirlooms, clothes. There was clothes that we were looking at coming out of these homes destroyed and still had tags on them. So, this was really, a big setback for people. I spoke to a young lady who recently moved here from Arizona, and she was just telling me that, this was not in the plan. And now she has to start over, and she's probably contemplating if she's going to even stay in Coatesville. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, and it's time for less talk and more action on a federal level, and that's what we're going to be talking about later.
Well, look, James, I know you're going to be on it, man. Look, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know James, you can't see it behind the table, but there's a cot back there that he actually sleeps in, because when I call him 6 a.m, sometime, where you at work at 9 o'clock, he's there now. This man is to be commended, and I can't say enough about this young man, especially your coolness and how you rolled up your sleeves in the time of the catastrophe. But now I need to recognize some of our viewers. Iris Holmes, it's good to see you. Amber Little Turner, you are right. Whatever you mean by Pierce WJ, Bill Pierce is the bomb. He's a beast. I love that dude. He's always thinking and looking out for our community. But now I'm not going to get so enamored and wrapped up. And these two dynamite gentlemen, without bringing on Miss Kimberly, she got that red T-shirt on. Kimberly, you're up to bat. First of all, how you doing today, Kimberly?
I'm doing all right.
Now, Kimberly, this is your first time on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're loose and free, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at this shirt that this young lady's wearing, it's the Coatesville Black Media Renaissance. She is like the spearhead. Shannon D. Thomas is watching. Shannon, it's good to see you, Shannon. Now, Kimberly, I don't even know where to start with you, because me and Kimberly have been hanging out for about the last year or so, and they all brought me on to this Coatesville Black Media Renaissance. And she's like the ice in a hot drink. She's just cool. She's like quiet storm. I don't know what to call her. She makes sense. She takes it easy while we're acting like fools trying to figure out stuff. She is a calming voice. So now, Kimberly, let me ask you, what is the purpose and what is this Coatesville Black Media Renaissance thing all about?
I think Fonz, when we think about just kind of, I know that we're talking about Coatesville Black Media Renaissance, but when we talk about, even what just happened in the city in terms of the storms, there's just a spirit of resiliency, a spirit of pride, a spirit of love that the people of Coatesville just have in general. And I think that when I think about Coatesville Black Media Renaissance and the group, the individuals that come together collectively, the artistry that's represented, the gifts, the talents, the gems, the jewels, everything that this group brings, it's a synergy and it's an energy. And it is this group of individuals really just are coming together to do something, to have less. I know we've been meeting, but really to have less talk and more action about, lifting up community voice, lifting up, their artistic giftings, and really telling this story, really putting a message out that says, you know what, we have something to say. We have something that we want to do, not only in our city, we want to impact the region, the state, global, as far as we can go with this thing. And this purpose really is just centered around, again, saying we have something to say about what's been going on in our world, in our nation, in our region, and in our town. And that's what this group is. That is what Coatesville is. And I'm just excited to be a part of this. And I say be a part because even though I'm behind the scenes, it's really, I'm behind the scenes, but the leaders, the group, just the energy that's coming together in this group is amazing. I'm excited to see how far the sky is really the limit. And then I don't even know about that.
Oh, thank you. That was good stuff right there. That's the most I've heard you talk since we've been together. But look, check this out. And then this is almost like coincidence, but it ain't really. The two other guests that we have, Mr. Logan and Miss Briggs, they all part of CBMR too. Matter of fact, they are the creators. And we're going to talk about how it originated over a napkin. But look, let's go back to Miss Vanessa. All right, now, Vanessa, with all the stuff that's going on, have y'all come up with any contingency plans that you want to do in the future in regards to relief and things like that?
I mean, what's top of mind right now is this last flood, and certainly I cannot take credit for any contingency plans. I think somebody put in your chat, and a shout out to Bill Pierce at the Brandywine Valley Active Aging. He has pulled a group of people together and really getting us focused to coordinate efforts. And I just commend him and his leadership. He reached out to his board and said, this is what I'm going to do. He didn't ask for permission. He just said, this is what I'm going to do because this is what's needed in the city. And so this is all evolving as we speak. But this particular man, everybody knows Bill Pierce from the Senior Center, and he has hired a person to coordinate, as James mentioned, just sort of triaging housing needs in the impact zone area, just making sure that people are getting their houses inspected and things are being taken care of, and coordinating volunteers and cleaning out houses. And he took this all upon himself to do. And literally this person, Jen, that he hired is sitting under a red umbrella. And so she cannot be missed. So he's leading us to sort of figure out how do we coordinate not just the housing needs, but there's also a portion where we're going to be doing some fundraising. He came up with a great name for this fundraising. It's the Red Umbrella Response Fund. So we're going to be launching that in efforts to raise money for the residents in the city of Coatesville. Because as James mentioned, this last storm has been pretty devastating to the residents in the city. So we're hoping to raise some funds. We're hoping to coordinate some social services. So far, since Bill and his team have been out there, we know that there have been maybe a total of 42 households that were referred to the 211. And of that, we know 15 households and 59 people come from the city of Coatesville who are being serviced in 211. But we also know people are falling through the cracks and may not be calling 211. So we're really trying to come up with other ways to make sure that people's needs are being taken care of, and we're definitely connecting them to service. And James can talk a little bit more about sort of what the city is doing and how we're all just trying to collectively work together. Like I said, my hat goes off to Bill. We had a meeting today. He coordinated the nonprofit sector. We're all rolling up our sleeves and we have our marching orders, just trying to pull the city back together. And as Kimberly said, it's a city that's resilient, but right now we're hurting. And so just trying to pull it back together and make people's lives a little bit more amendable right now, because it's pretty devastating what's happening in the city as it relates to the floods.
Thank you very much. And we have Debbie Bookman has checked in. What would I call Debbie Bookman? Who's in charge of prothonotary? I forget what they call him, but anyway, that's who she is. Tina Madsen has checked in. Tina, it is always a plum, peace, and pleasure. And Daria Turley, you know how we all feel about you. Hey, don't forget to share this, because I want y'all to share this like it's a rumor. You know what I mean? You know how people say, don't tell nobody, and y'all tell everybody? Well, look, don't tell nobody. Tell everybody. Oh, man. So now, who we got? Who's up next? James, you got your second win?
I did.
All right, good. James, so look, I want you to segue right off of what Ms. Briggs was talking about, and let's talk about some of your future plans and things of that nature. And what would you like? What would you like the residents to know? Because right now, the biggest thing is like everybody has questions. Now, Ms. Briggs, you was talking about the event that, or not the event, but what Bill is setting up, and that's going to be out there at the sports center out there. But maybe you can share on that, the sports center out there in Downingtown. But let's talk about that. James, talk to the viewers.
Well, let me just start by thanking a few people. So many of you know that our police and fire, along with the Washington Hose Company and the Weston Fire Department, they were all out along with our neighboring municipalities, just providing transport, rescue, recovery. And my hat goes off to all of those men and women that did that. And I say that because they were in the water. And many of you know that the water got up to 6 or 7 feet. And some of that water had sewage in it. And we still had our first responders going into the water, trying to help get people out of their homes. So again, they constantly put their lives on the line, as well as our residents, to help get people out into safety. And we were very fortunate that we didn't have any deaths here in the city of Coatesville, unlike Downingtown. So, we were very fortunate that we kind of escaped that one. But next time, we don't know what it's going to be. We have a number of seniors that live on Fifth and Olive and throughout the city that were trapped. And it really bothers me when we have a situation like this. And as I said earlier, we continue to talk about it, and we continue to look at Coatesville like it's a second-class city, and we can't, allocate funds to rectify this problem. So, for me, my mission is making sure that the officials that need it, whether it's PEMA or FEMA, get the information that they need for us to qualify for those emergency funds. And this is an infrastructure issue. The pipes that are down in that area, they are too small to handle the volume and the velocity of the water that's been coming down lately. You can call it global warming, you can call it whatever you want, but we live in a valley. And if you look up Fifth Avenue at the top of that hill and just imagine water coming down for 3 hours, you think it's going to happen. So we got to get our act together. As I said earlier, our infrastructure is old. It's not working. It's non-functional in this type of climate. And for those of you who have been living in Coatesville for years, Coatesville have had issues related to stormwater management for years. And that's because, we are dealing with smaller pipes that is supposed to take water out to the Brandywine. And when the rain falls the way it does, there's so much water that is trying to pump through those pipes, it backs up. And when it starts backing up, it starts to flood and it starts to come up through the inlets. And you mix that with sewer and just regular stormwater, the stormwater itself, it is a recipe for disaster. So, we just have to, moving forward, we have to sit down, come up with a plan. And the plan, really has to be that entire area is going to have to be dug up. We're going to have to put pipes in there that can handle that water capacity. We can't do this in a 3 or 5 year project. It has to be done now. And the sooner we act on it, the better, not only for the city, but certainly for the lives of the residents that live throughout the city. And don't get me wrong, there were other areas in the city of Coatesville that were impacted. Many people were flooding in their basements all over the city. And we were deploying people to those areas as well. But 4th, 5th, 6th, Olive, Harmony, all of those areas over there that we call kind of like the bottom or the fishbowl, they were very very devastated by this past week's storm.
Well, thank you, thank you. Let me just give some shout outs to Dana Brickers. Thank you for tuning in. Debbie Bookman said, I can assist residents. Now, this is important, y'all. I can assist residents with their landlord/tenant issues if they come to the prothonotary office. Now, Debbie Bookman, for those of you who know her, I mean, most of the city knows her, she's in charge of prothonotary. So she said she can assist you. Go there and stop playing. Okay, Carrie Villa Hunt. She just checked and said Coatesville will survive. Coatesville is strong in all capital letters with one of these up there. Thank you for checking in, Carrie. Brian Maxwell, crying Brian, man, and one of my best friends. It's good to see you, Brian. Now, where do we go next? Now, wait a minute. I'll tell you where we're going to go next. We were talking about, Miss Vanessa was talking about Bill pulling something together, and it's called Chester County is operating a one-stop shop resource center for residents seeking help with property damage assessments and other support caused by Hurricane Ida. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want y'all to go to sleep on me. But Rita Brown just checked in, and what has been set up is they are providing a single place where you can go for all your needs. That's why they call it one-stop shop. Your assistance, housing, you got problems with insurance, you got problems with just whatever. Take your pictures, fill out your paperwork to assess your damage. All that stuff will be under one roof. Am I correct there, Mr. Logan?
Yeah, that you're talking about what the county is calling MARC.
Mark.
And MARC is the multi-agency resource center that's going to be opening this week. And that's located at 1426 Marshallton in Thorndale. And Fonz, you're absolutely right. That's going to be a kind of a one-stop shop for individuals that need various resources and assistance. In addition to that, Jen, who is the new staff member for Bill Pierce or the Senior Center, she will be out on 5th Avenue the rest of this week, and she will have forms that we all need people to come and get. You can get them from Jen, you can get them here at City Hall, but these forms are, they call them individual assistance forms. And what you need to do is you need to record all of the damages or damages that you may have incurred over the storm. And the idea here is these forms are going to be collected and sent to Chester County OIC. And what they're going to do is they're going to verify these forms, and this will go into a database that will provide us an opportunity to go after both FEMA and PEMA funding. But it's very critical that these forms are completed. In addition to that, if you have photographs of the damage, whether you live on 5th or 6th and Olive, please send those photographs into City Hall, and you can send them to info@coatesville.org. And what we're going to do is we're going to compile kind of a chronological storyboard, if you will, of the events that happened September 1 and the aftermath. The more photographs, the better. This is going to help us, kind of tell our story to the feds as well as to the state. And the other reason why you want to get those forms in is because it's going to support you or help you with your insurance claims as well. So if you can go to our website. The form will be posted tomorrow, but right now it is in the lobby, and Jen will have a stack of them out there to help you fill out, or you can fill them out yourself.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Hey, Fonz, can I also just, while I have the floor, I also want to thank a few other people other than Jen. We have, 2 council members that have been out there, Councilwoman Alameen and Councilman Folks. They were out there just, doing what everyone else was doing, that's volunteering their time, along with Pastor Rob. And as I said, there's just so many people that have been coming through, lending their support, whether it's on 4th and 5th and Olive, or over at the CYWA, over at CYI, which they had a tremendous donor drive a couple of days ago. everyone's just pulling out the stops. And it's wonderful to see, but you know what? We didn't really have to do it this way, you know, and that's where I'm going to keep going back to. You know, this could have been prevented, or I should say it could have been managed better. And I hope moving forward, we will, as a city, have a very strong emergency management team in place where people don't have to wait days to get shelter or cots or pillows or blankets or food. You know, we're going to get this right. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's my man. That's my
Hey,
man.
Fonz,
Get talk to me.
can I add also the multi-agency resource center that you're referring to that's in Thorndale?
Yes.
Just so that people know that there's going to be a host of nonprofits there helping to sort of connect people to whatever services they need. That's 2 days.
Yes.
There's also the effort that I'm referring to, that a host of nonprofits that service the city of Coatesville, along with Bill Pierce and his new staff person, Jen, that's local. We're doing this in the city because we recognize that resource center is great for 2 days, but people's needs are longer than 2 days.
Amen.
I don't think we want to solve this stuff in 2 days. So we needed to create and coordinate some services that are here for the long term. And that's what we're really trying to do. So there's a bunch of donations and, you know, supplies that have been donated that are about to get coordinated and then sent out. So all these things are sort of happening in real time as we're speaking, but I just want people to know that that resource center that you're referring to is a countywide initiative versus what Bill Pierce and all the nonprofits along with the city are pulling together is something specific for the city of Coatesville, because we know that we got to be in this thing for a while. It's not just going to be a 2-day thing.
Right.
So just kind of stay close to that. And like I said, we know that funds are going to be needed. So that's why we created the Red Umbrella Response Fund to help support that as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me say good evening to some of our viewers. LaTardra Mosley, it is good to see you this evening. Josh Krantz says, "What's up, Fonz? Jen has been killing it, organizing teams to homes." That's in reference to what you were talking about, James. Dana Brickers, thank you for typing in the info at coatesville.org. That's the kind of viewers I got, man. When they hear some information, they want to share with the community. Kim Pollard, whose husband will be inducted into another Hall of Fame. How many Hall of Fames is it? Calvin Grove is in every Hall of Fame from the East Coast to the West Coast. He's one of Coatesville's own. He's the last person that boxed a 15-round fight in the history of America. That's right. He was the last one. He's a gem. We love you. Calvin, Danae Johnson has just checked in. Hey, look, my viewers, please, if you have questions, now's the time to type it in the comments. And don't call me up tomorrow. Tell my Fonz, what about this and what about that? You know I don't have no answers. That's why I got them on the show. They got their answers. So type it in your comment section. Don't forget to hit the share button. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Kimberly, you're up to bat. Now, Kimberly Day Hardy. I love the fact she's got 3 names, right? Kimberly, come on. I want to know, I want you to share with the community something about community voice. And before it's over, we're going to hit Philly pitch too, because you made us all proud when you was down there. So come on the screen. Tell us a little bit about community voice.
Well, community voice is, there's so many things that I could share there, but one of the strategic priorities of the foundation is community voice, right? We've been having these conversations for the last few years. Let's talk Coatesville, and we've been talking, and we put together this focus again to be really boots on the ground, connected, hearing what the community says they want, and actually putting it into action. And so one of the components of that has been the birth of this Coatesville Black Media Renaissance Initiative. Really, again, and this is just the beginning. When COVID hit, we knew that obviously we were already in the space of having conversations, but we had some gems already to say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what we want to do. These are the things we want to see. And so that's really what community voice is about. Just the relationships, the hearing what, the community has said that they wanted and putting the action to it. And this Coatesville Black Media Renaissance is one of those first iterations of that.
All right. Boy, she done threw a big word. Did you hear that? She said iteration. now I gotta go get a dictionary. Right, man. That's besides the point. So look, hey Kim. So now, all right. So we've been working hard at this thing. Let's take us all the way up to. Let's take us up to the expo and tell us: is this a one-shot deal? What do you see in the future for this?
No, definitely not a one-shot deal. And I think we went into this gathering, this collective of artists representing the city of Coatesville, from photography to cinema, television, media, spoken word, art, the art of painting, and of course, all of the folks who are part of this great initiative are people who are just known in the community overall. So we've been working behind the scenes, putting together this showcase of everybody's talents. The new date is September the 26th, which is a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so the showcase is going to offer all of those forms of art that I mentioned, also with the message of how and what we can do to really make our voice heard in a larger and a bigger way. And so again, like it's no credit to me. This is, I think that when things happen in our society, people respond through art. That's what it is. People express how they feel through their artistry. People tell stories from the music to what we see. And so it really is, I think what one of the members said, a rebirth in a sense, representing a renaissance, a change, a new thing. And that's what we've been talking about. And it's beyond sleeves rolled. I think we're just ready to make this thing happen and really continue to spread the word.
Look, I don't know if y'all caught the event show, whatever you want to call it, in regards to mental health. And we had Heather Myers, spoken word, and that little Janina Deanna, she in the background, she just painted just everything was black, like for a half hour, right? And I'm like, she ain't painting nothing. She ain't faking it. All of a sudden, before the hour was over, she had a beautiful canvas with a beautiful flower painted on this thing. It looked like Rembrandt did it. And I looked at her, I'm like, I should do that. I was watching her. But we have some talented people, and so much talent. I mean, it's so exciting. And I'm always excited about the possibilities of what it is we can do when we come together and give them the freedom. So now, but this wouldn't be possible without the other two people that's in the top part of this computer screen of mine, is James and Vanessa. I like to call her Nessa, but that sounds too personal because I like how Bernie Mac said Nessa. No, but seriously, that's besides the point. But come on, tell us how this thing got birthed.
I refer to this project as the napkin project because it literally was written on a napkin. I got an announcement from actually the grant that's supporting this initiative from Independence Public Media Foundation. And they put out an announcement that they had these funds that they wanted to spread out throughout the region, including Chester County. But they wanted it to focus on artists and how do you use artists to lift up community voice. And so as I was reading it, I picked up the phone and I called James. I said, I think I got an idea about community voice and how do we tap into the talent, the local artist talent that's in the city of Coatesville to lift up the voices of social issues that are near and dear to their heart. Because you have to remember, at the time, this was on the heels of COVID was running rampant, and we saw how much it was impacting Black and Brown communities. We also were dealing with all this social injustice and racism and inequities that was happening across the nation. And I just saw this as a perfect opportunity to use artistry to lift up issues that are in communities like Coatesville. And so James and I were talking on the phone, and he was rattling on about how to structure it and what ideal could look like. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't write fast enough. And I literally had a napkin and started writing these ideas down. I think James, it was maybe a 15-minute conversation. I said, yeah, this thing is due like tomorrow. Let me put something together and write it and then send it to you, and you let me know what you think. And that's how this project was birthed, just like that. But it was really fun. It was a perfect opportunity, because oftentimes communities like Coatesville, and they're all over the place, people come up with a lot of programs and services, but rarely do they allow community to use their voice, not just to identify what the problem is, but also do solution building. And so the idea was, let's use art as sort of like a social movement and give it voice so that our community can start to come up with some better solutions, so we don't have to keep dealing with the same problems over and over again. So that's really what's behind it.
Makes sense. James, come on, add to that.
I have to say, Vanessa's right. We were rattling off ideas, and when she said, "Okay, this is enough, I'm going to start it," I went, I don't have to help.
I know he didn't.
And then the other thing is, she never told me, like, what was she eating with the napkins in the first place? It must have been something good if she had that many napkins, but she never told me.
You know what, man? And I'm going to say hi to some of these guests. Then we're going to get back to Christina Shell. It's good to see you. Dana, you said you missed the beginning of this live. Is the community still taking donations? Well, I did get word from Alyssa Lopez at CYWA. You can still bring donations down there. So you can do that. Sister Barbara Marshall, you checked in twice. You must have hung up the phone or something. All right, but look, being in the middle of a meeting with you and James is something different. Nah, maybe I'll just leave it there. But both y'all something else. That's what happens when you got two people with them like big minds and big brains and stuff. You know what I mean, Kimberly?
Kimberly's in there.
Huh?
Kimberly is the one that gets us going.
Yeah, but see,
you guys got to remember, she's an educator.
Yeah, but see, Kimberly gives it and then she drops it like it's hot. Y'all take it as far as y'all can go with it.
Yeah, basically.
I'll be looking at my watch. I mean, did we come to a conclusion yet? Oh, I love y'all, man, because y'all make stuff happen.
Okay.
Don't let me lose my train of thought. Y'all having too much fun now. What? So now, where do I go now? Now, Vanessa, tell me, look, you have been, there's so many shining lights in Coatesville, man. I be going around, I be getting chills on my arm when I think about the beauty and the concern from people that I would never really, really ever know. So how do you feel now that you've been playing? Because you've gotten radical. There's no doubt about that, Vanessa. You've gotten radical. So tell me, how does it feel being immersed in a community such as this, doing what you're doing?
It's hard to describe, and so I think the best way, you know how you feel like you know you're in the right place at the right time and things are going to happen. It feels almost like that, but then when you first enter into a community and you don't know anybody and you got to feel things out and people got to feel you out. So I had to kind of deal with that a little bit, but I do believe that there is just a point in time that the foundation had to move and make a pivot and change. And the team was on board and my board was on board. And so to answer your question, if it wasn't for the team and it wasn't for the board and it wasn't for the community welcoming the ideas of the foundation, I don't think we would be where we're at. But it's almost like a surreal feeling because I've been doing this work a long time in a lot of different communities and it takes time. But Coatesville's just got something special about it because I was sharing with somebody else that I've only been here 4 years. But I hope that in the 4 years, the community knows that the foundation is real about what we're trying to do. And it really is about listening and lifting up community and try to come up with some solutions together, because we need to get to the root cause of why we have the problems that we have and start tackling it from that perspective, and not just putting band-aids on it and try to make ourselves feel good about it, because that's not going to fix problems. And so I'm just happy and proud to be part of the community in Coatesville and to work with the team at the Brandywine Health Foundation. Kimberly will tell you, I'm banned sometimes from thinking of ideas. My team's like, no more, don't think of anything else. We can't handle anything else. But it's just almost surreal, because I feel like this is the right place at the right time for this moment in time. That's just how and I know that's not the answer that you want, but that's just how it feels, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, look, Dana Brickets, she really likes the fact that she said the art idea is awesome, Kimberly and y'all. And Sharon DeSeals just checked in from almost out of Lancashire somewhere. She checked in. Okay, Kimberly, now, how does it feel working for Vanessa? Now, Vanessa, you might want to turn everything off. So but what's that experience like?
So, it's I actually, something that you just said, Vanessa, when it's the when you really, if you've worked in different communities over the years, sort of like, okay, here's some things that work, here's some things that don't work, here's some, pieces. And when each community is different. And she said it, Coatesville has something very special. It's you go places sometimes, people, in Pennsylvania will say, oh, where's Coatesville? It's right outside of Philly. It's right outside of Philly. Where's Coatesville? What is Coatesville all about? And I bring in the Philly pitch piece, really quickly, because everybody was excited to hear about what Coatesville was doing, And so when like I said, she just said it, this vision, this let's do something that's real. If you are about the work of, being compassionate about working with communities and really compassionate about true service, then you want to do stuff that makes impact. You want to make stuff that makes a difference. And you can't do that without the voice of the community at the helm, period. And it's not, it's not something that's baked overnight. It's not something that happens in a vacuum. It's something that happens over time. So, truly the leadership that says, you know what, let's hear what this is and let's really do it for real. And, there's nothing more authentic than that. So it's a team approach, but it's also just, again, that great vision that says, you know what, we'll be accountable, and we're going to do this in a real and authentic way. And that's what it is. It doesn't get any, I don't say it doesn't get any better than that, but I mean, in a world where there's so many facades and things, that smoke screens and things like that, to be in a place where, again, we're really listening to what folks are saying and really being about that business, that's what it is. So that's the energy that you see.
Okay, stay right there. Give us a short little overview of the Philly Pitch Initiative, where y'all went down and represented Coatesville and the Brandywine Health.
Sure. So short version, Philly Pitch is a national program in which is sponsored in different cities, Philadelphia being one of them. There's an organization, a studio called Philly Cam, also Doc Society, that partnered together to bring this event. They put a call out to hear from media makers and visionaries who had something to say about social justice and what's happening in the world right now. And so myself, along with the great Ebony Roberts, which I know you said we'll have a chance to talk about her and lift her up for the amazing work that she's doing, said, hey, let's take this component of the Coatesville Black Media Renaissance, which is youth voice. And there's also the panels you mentioned, the mental health piece too. So there's the community panel discussions, and then there's the Youth Voices Project. We put together, we got in the lab Uh, and we put together a pitch that had to be no more than 2 minutes long and gave it our best. We had our script, but we flowed and again spoke from our heart on it, and it was phenomenal. To bring in some funding for that project, to make connections with good connections too with folks in the region, and really help us, lift up this youth voice component as well. So that's what Philly Pitch was. And again, great partnerships. And so we're looking to continue to forge that, build that relationship. Folks want to know what Coatesville has to say, and they want to know what Coatesville youth have to say. So we are excited for real.
Oh man, thank you so much. Somebody just sent me a message. They should be on Facebook Live so I could have one of y'all answer the question. They shot it through a different way. Sometimes my computer is like, I don't know what it's like, but it's the central piece of Coatesville that's got problems or want to know something. Hey, look, thank you for that. Hey, James, look, James, what is it like messing around working with Vanessa?
This is Kimberly Vanessa night. What's going on, Fonz?
Because all of y'all work together. I just want to know how everybody feel about each other. So y'all can have a kumbaya moment. Y'all be crying. I didn't know they love me like that. You know what I'm talking about. How does it feel, man? How has it helped you and your leadership in the city?
Well, I think, for me, Vanessa is always a breath of fresh air because, in any, whether you're in leadership or not, it's always good to just have someone to bounce off ideas or someone just to kind of vent to. And she's just been that person. I know I call her early in the morning sometimes. I know I call her late at night. And she probably rolls her eyes a little bit when I call. But, I do it, knowing that I'm going to get, a good answer, whether it's an answer that helps support my cause or not. She's going to be upfront. She's going to be honest. She'll shoot down an idea that doesn't sound right. And I think she does that not only to, to kind of, stand where she is in her life and some of the things that she's experienced, but she does it to protect people too. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't know about her. So it's not so much that, she's doing it because the idea sucks. She's doing it because if you do it, you might not have a job.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's what I like about her, and it's her entire team. Vanessa has done some things to for those individuals that know how the Brandywine Foundation has evolved. She has turned it around in a way that it's very Coatesville centric, very Coatesville focused, and I'm not criticizing the way it was years ago, but for someone to come in and make a foundation, kind of focus on a community, that's saying a lot. That's saying that she wants to put her resources in this community. Her donors and her supporters want to put their resources in the community. And a lot of those individuals that support her efforts and the efforts of the Brandywine Foundation, a lot of times they don't even want to be mentioned. So I think she's been able to really win over a lot of people, and maybe still doing it without a lot of accolades, but she's doing it. And I'm just, we kind of came to Coatesville at the same time. Even though I've been working behind the scenes in Coatesville for more than 15 years, we kind of both started in our leadership roles around the same time, and it's been great.
Good stuff. Good. Hey, Jay D'Angelo checked in late as always. But Jay, you can catch me on the repost because as soon as this is over, I'm going to put it right back in my feed and make everybody putting that up there again. Yes, but now we're coming towards the end of this, right? This is when I usually have stuff to say, so I'm getting ready to say some stuff, and then after I say stuff, each one of you are going to give a parting comment to your viewers. It can be information, inspiration, or education, or just anything that's on your heart that you want to share with the viewers. But ladies and gentlemen, what I presented you, who I presented to you this evening are the people that are behind the scenes doing what you don't know that what they're doing until you become involved and things of that nature. So it is my hope and prayer that the community withhold some of the angst, some of the who's going to do what, who ain't doing what, and have more questions than fact or what you believe to be facts. I think it's really time for us to be more curious about what's going on as opposed to making blanket statements about what ain't going on, because things don't turn around instantaneously. And you've just heard from these three people. You've heard their hearts. You've heard what they are doing behind the scenes, supplying resources, supplying talent. They're just doing, and it's not just these three. We have a town full of people, and we make a lot of noise. And a few people make a lot of noise about some things that really, to me, sometimes doesn't deserve all the noise that it gets. Sometimes we major in minutia and we miss the big picture. The big picture is Coatesville is rising and we're trying to work together. You know what I mean? We always talk about the crabs in the basket, but we always wind up wanting to be the crab. So if you stop, it will probably stop. But that's just my opinion. So look, what I want to do right now, James, I want to end with a lady because you just had the last one. No, we'll let you catch some breath. You catch some breath. Plus, I like your glasses. Kimberly, I want you to give a couple of words to the viewers out there. Don't make us cry and all that stuff. But look, come on here and say something from your heart to all the viewers out there.
What I want to share is just to say again, much of what I've already mentioned. As we put, more information out, you already, I'm a name drop, Shanina, Deanna, Heather, Myers, Kevin Davis, Ajene Livingston, Teresa Smith, the artistry of Teresa Smith, Peter Foster. I know DJ Jones, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. There's our team, but I think those are the artists in of themselves. Again, working together, putting together, not just, it's not programming, because we went into this really we went into this thinking with the end in mind, which is to say, how can this be, something that goes on? It's not just, we're so grateful for the support of the Independence Public Media Foundation with this work. They've entrusted us with something to carry on, and looking for, that opportunity for us to continue this forward and keep growing. And so, as information is out, again, Franz, thank you for this amazing platform to share and just talk to the community. We just want to continue to put information forward and then really capture the essence of what the community continues to say, and how we can, again, continue to just lift up their voice. So, as we put information out, please share, please support, please be a part of it. It's a movement, it's a message, it's all of those things. And again, we are all excited. So more to come. That's what I'll say. I'll say more to come.
Thank you very much. Ms. Briggs, time's yours.
I guess the only thing I can think of, and I think my thought process and what I'm thinking of is sort of in line with sort of what you're saying, Fonz. I just come from a place that I believe that to whom much is given, much is required, and it takes more than one person to transform communities. And it's just my hope that as we unfortunately have to deal with things such as floods and racism and injustices and all that stuff, that at some point, everybody understands that everybody's got something to contribute to turn it around. And I think you said Coatesville's rising. I like to say community is transforming. And I do believe it just takes a collective effort. It's not one person. And if you want change, it requires a lot of you and it's selfless.
Yeah.
This work is selfless. If you're in it for the right reasons, it's just a selfless act and you're just giving of service. And that's kind of how I look at the work. So I don't feel like it's work. So that's not my parting thoughts, but that's kind of what's at the top of my mind right now.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, Kate Ferkin, you came on. Kate, you all late. What happened? You must have been at another meeting. So look, James, you're going to close it out, and then I'm going to say I'll talk about my sponsor a little bit, and then we're going to call it a night. So come on, James, give us a little something.
Okay, I'll try not to be too long-winded on this one, but
yeah, you almost said everything.
I'm going to start with just thanking you, Fonz. I think since I've come here and kind of seeing you evolve and your show evolve, I just think that you have provided a tremendous resource and educational platform that continues to evolve, and I can't really say I'm proud of you because this is something that you always are kind of doing things out of the box, but I am proud of you for making this show what it is, and I don't need to tell you that. I think your viewers kind of express that to you every time they log on to you. But I do appreciate you. I appreciate your coverage of this city. I appreciate you bringing people on that inspire this city. And it's not just about the three of us on this call. There are so many people that you have brought on your show that make a difference in this community. And one of the things that's important to me, in my role as city manager, is to not put up these walls to people so that they don't have access to me or City Hall and the people that work here. I know that we're not perfect, and sometimes it takes a little beat to get back to people, but we are working hard. We're trying to turn this big ship around. There's a lot of problems here in the city of Coatesville, and my job is to kind of help facilitate how do we get better. And the way to do that is we have to work together. We got to stop, as you said earlier, we got to stop criticizing one another and just get to the work at hand. And if we do that, all the things that we're kind of laying the foundation for in the future, it's going to materialize, and this city is going to be back. As a matter of fact, I sometimes have to catch myself. Instead of saying is going to be back, it is back. It's back in pockets. When you look down on the east end of town, there's a lot of commerce going down on the east end, but people don't see it that way because they may not be comfortable going on the east end because there's too many people that look like us. But you know what? That's all right, because that's the vibe of the city. And for those of you who are listening, you know what it's like when you get caught up in that vibe. You love that energy, and that's the type of energy that Coatesville has. We just need to build on it. The other thing that we have to do, and this is something that everybody should be aware of, local government has changed. It is no longer the way it used to be, where you guys can't come in and voice your opinion. Local government is more community or more communal, and it's engagement. And we try to do that engagement, whether it's through City Hall, the police department, the fire department, our parks and rec guys that are out there. I mean, we are really trying to work together and band together to continue building the city. And then the last thing I just want to kind of touch upon is, there are three things that I always look at in Coatesville when I come into the city. Have we made an effort to improve the quality of life? Have we made an effort to create business opportunities, not only in business development, but also in employment? And then have we made any movement in our housing opportunities, which Fonz, with your first time home buyer program, that's something that's going to really change the face of the city, because you're helping people get into their homes for the first time. So these are the things that kind of keep me up at night, because I want to be able to walk away here whenever that day will be, checking off those three things. And I just, I appreciate you allowing me to do this and others to do it. And I'm just gonna run off some names just to kind of continue with Kimberly, then I'm gonna shut
You
up.
mean there's more?
Yeah. So Kimberly, I'm jumping on your names, but I want to add Shannon, Ricky, Denzel, Brandon, Ebony, and Susan. And I'm out.
Man, James, look, y'all three, I'm telling you, I'm so honored. This has been a great 65 minutes. This is one of the longest shows I've had. 65 minutes, but it's good. It was 65 minutes well spent. I feel honored that y'all allowed me to come in with y'all blurred backgrounds and talk to y'all for a little while. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure. God bless you all. And I'm just going to sign off. And somebody keeps calling me. I'll call you back. It's my cousin. Okay, so with that being said, thank y'all very much to all my viewers out there. This show has been brought to you by Simply Verna's excellent planning for events, decoration, and catering. And she is a pie connoisseur. Check her out, Vanille Richards from Simply Berna. That's all I got, because that's all I got. James, you know I'm gonna call you in a couple minutes. I'm not calling y'all ladies. Y'all need to go to bed somewhere. Hey, look, everybody, don't forget that Coatesville's rising, and we all matter. Peace out. Bam. I got it. Hey, share this and stop playing.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Yeah, good night.
Bye
All right,
bye.
thank you.
Good night. Thanks again.
You
Thanks,
welcome.
Fonz.
Righto. Bye bye.